Hi. Hola.
Hi, here's Mr. Dozy.
This is Michael Bradley.
Hey, I'm Memphis.
Hey.
Hola. Hello.
I'm here with soccer.com.
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 And I'm talking with my friends soccer.com.
See you soon.
Hey guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the Puma evoPOWER 1.3 in the latest Tricks colorway. Now as you guys can see, this does come with a special box that is exclusive to the Tricks pack. Open it up and on the inside, all you get are the shoes themselves. They do not come with any extras. So let me get these guys out of the box really quickly, and we'll take a closer look at what is a very good shoe in the evoPOWER 1.3 that's being offered in a pretty interesting colorway. The Tricks variation, as you can very clearly see, essentially makes both shoes opposites of each other. So the right foot is neon yellow with pink accents, and the left foot is pink with neon yellow accents, which gives this shoe a very, very distinctive and very interesting look that you can get on the evoPOWER as well as the EvoSpeed models and their multiple variations. So in today's video, we are of course going to take a closer look at the colorway itself. We're going to talk tech specs and general performance on the evoPOWER 1.3 because it is one of the more underrated top-end models on the market in my opinion. Just doesn't get the attention that it deserves given the performance standards that this shoe meets. We're going to talk about fit. We're going to talk about sizing. We're also going to take a look at the weight of the shoe and essentially cover everything you need to know about the evoPOWER 1.3. So if you're interested in learning more, please stick around and watch the entire video. If you're interested in a pair of these for yourself, be sure to check out the review page on my website. That'll be the very first link down below in the description of this video. On that page, you'll find Buy It Now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes where you'll be able to pick these guys up below their normal $220 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. And with that being said, let's get right into the review. To start things off, let's talk tech specs and general performance. Now the evoPOWER 1.3 is one of those shoes that almost doesn't compare to anything else out there, mainly because of the design logic behind the shoe. We don't see many shoes anymore other than maybe the Mizuno Wave Ignitus 4, where the main focus of the overall design is striking the ball. That's really what Puma has focused on with the evoPOWER line, not just the 1.3. And their ideas and concepts are pretty interesting in comparison to what everyone else is doing. So there's three main kind of reasons as to why the shoe is why it is. So the upper features an Adapt-Lite synthetic material, and that material in combination with the sole plate, which is their gradual stability frame, both of these elements are very flexible. So what the first thing they really focused on when striking the ball in a pair of shoes is the natural flexibility of the foot. They found that when you actually strike a ball without shoes on at all, the bending of your toes and the general bending of your foot when you actually strike through the ball creates somewhat of a recoil effect and allows for more power in your shot. And they implemented that in the design of the evoPOWER and evoPOWER 1.3. All top-end models of the evoPOWER 1, 1.2, and 1.3 have all had this feature. They're essentially just kind of tweaked variations of kind of the same thing, I guess. They've all had Adapt-Lite, they've all had AccuFoam, they've all had a variation of the gradual stability frame. They just change it up from year to year, and I really feel like the 1.3 is the best variation of the evoPOWER so far. So that's kind of the first reasoning for part of the design of the evoPOWER 1.3. The other thing that they found is that when you strike the ball with no shoes on at all, having less padding allows for more power in your shot. So you're going to find that the Adapt-Lite synthetic is actually quite thin. So that's kind of the second kind of logical reason for the thickness of the upper. But at the same time, the third reason why the shoe is why it is they found that when you have a little bit of padding between your foot and the ball, that increases accuracy. So to go along with that thin Adapt-Lite synthetic, there's actually AccuFoam padding running throughout the shoe. And it's a very, very soft padding. Normally when you have some kind of padding to the upper, it's mesh base or something like this. This is actually a very, very thin, almost memory foam type material. If you take the laces out of the shoe, you can actually see it on the inside because it does have a fairly thin mesh liner. But it's basically just a thin layer of foam that, like I said, is much spongier than you perhaps might expect. So when you make contact with the ball, it's still very thin, but there's obviously a softness about it because of that AccuFoam padding. So the combination of the shoe being quite thin, but still with some padding and very, very flexible is really what makes the evoPOWER 1.3 just a very unique experience and different from anything else out there, whether it be from the Puma brand or any other brand for that matter. Like I said earlier in the video, it's hard to compare this to any other shoe. So what's it like to actually play in the shoes? The touch, like I said, is on the thinner side, so if that's something that you like, the evoPOWER 1.3 has what you're looking for, but there is that slight amount of padding as well. They're not going to feel like Vapor 10s or anything like that, but again, because of the combination of really thin synthetic and a spongy foam kind of backing material, it's hard to compare it to anything else, but it does feel very, very good. It almost has like a leather-like quality to it to a certain extent, and the synthetic is actually very soft and very flexible. It has a nice natural, almost again, leather-like sensation on your foot. There's really nothing to break in, and you actually see how they did the AccuFoam padding with these little flex grooves. The shoe is very, very flexible this way. Same with the sole plate, so you get a very natural kind of experience as far as just running around in the shoes is concerned. When you're actually striking the ball, it doesn't increase the power of your shot, unfortunately. It doesn't make your shot more accurate. That's really down to the person wearing the shoes, not the shoes themselves. But every once in a while, when you make contact, absolutely perfect when striking the ball, you feel that bend back sensation, and it's a very kind of, I guess, gratifying feeling. It's not so much something that, like I said, is going to improve the power of your shot, but it's kind of reassurance that you struck the ball as well as you possibly could have, and that's why I really like that particular feature. You're not going to notice the bend back feature with every single shot, but when you hit the ball absolutely perfect, you definitely do notice it. And like I said, it's kind of like almost like a teaching aid, as opposed to something that, like I said, is a tangible performance benefit, because I really don't feel like the shoe is going to make you strike the ball better or more accurately. So laces are off-centered, as you guys can see. The finish on the upper is more of like an artificial leather grain. It's fairly smooth. There is supposed to be grip texturing throughout the entire upper as well. You don't really have that on this particular colorway, unlike some of the other ones, but nonetheless, it's just a clear, shiny coating that honestly doesn't really add any extra grip on the ball. For the most part, it's a fairly slick finish, or kind of along the lines of what you would expect from a leather shoe, just in terms of the amount of grip that you get. I really like the off-centered lacing system. It leaves you for a slightly cleaner striking area here, kind of across the main bone on your foot where you will be striking the ball. There's one seam right here where they have kind of a fuse overlay. That's not necessarily something that you're going to feel or notice when you're actually playing in the shoes. You have an internal plastic heel counter. The heel area is fairly normal as far as the cut is concerned. I would say it's a little bit lower cut, if anything. The heel liner is kind of like a hex texturing pattern. It's a synthetic leather material, but it does have some texture to it. And it's like slightly rubberized, so it does grip your socks quite well, and heel slippage really wasn't an issue at all. So that's a really nice thing. The insole, fully removable. I'll give you guys a quick look at that. You can see it's a mesh liner on top. The shape of the insole is a little bit unusual, and that's just because this does have more of that anatomical shape, which we have kind of seen quite often from Puma. It's not for everybody, and I'll talk about it more during the on-feet portion of the video, but for me personally, I don't mind it at all. I actually quite like it when it comes to the evoPOWER line, but something worth noting if you are planning or considering these at all. So mesh liner on top, single layer of this black foam, and then you have some perforated yellow foam inserted in the heel as well as in the forefoot toe box area. So you have a pretty good amount of foam under your foot, and just it's a solid insole. There's really not much else to say about it. It gets the job done. And then moving on to the sole plate, this is probably the most significant change coming from previous evoPOWER models. It's the gradual stability frame, so it maintains the same name, and it still has the duo flex grooves, as you guys can see, which are just thinned out areas of the upper. Basically, it's a P-back sole plate that is most flexible in the forefoot and then gets gradually stiffer and stiffer as you get into the heel, where obviously the heel area, you don't want it to be flexible at all. You want that to be pretty solid. So again, it does have that ability to bend back, and because it does bend backwards, it also flexes forward quite nicely as well. So it has a nice natural sensation, a very unrestrictive sole plate, I guess is the best way to describe it, which I personally really like in a soccer shoe. I always prefer something more flexible as opposed to something a little bit stiffer. So as far as the stud pattern is concerned, again, it's really focused around striking the ball. So you're gonna notice that you have a combination of bladed and kind of oval-shaped, bladed kind of oval-shaped studs and conical studs. And the oval-shaped studs, the blades, are actually laid out in a pattern where you would actually plant your foot to strike the ball. So the idea is that when you actually plant your foot, the outside of your heel is going to hit the ground first. Then you're going to teeter over and kind of flatten out, landing on this heel, the medial heel stud. Then you're going to teeter back over to the lateral side in the forefoot, and then eventually teeter back over to your toe and finish through with the strike. So kind of an interesting system. Is it something that I actually noticed when playing in the shoes? Not necessarily, but the stud pattern itself is very, very effective as far as stability is concerned, as well as traction. I really like the addition of the bladed studs in the forefoot that you didn't necessarily get in the previous models, at least right here. I think this stud makes a pretty big difference as far as just overall traction is concerned. You get really good bite because of the conical studs themselves. You still have that freedom to kind of twist and pivot when you're up on your toes. And the amount of bite that you get on firm natural grass is very good too. So as far as the overall traction experience is concerned, I would definitely say that this is above average and quite aggressive as far as firm ground stud patterns go. So if that's something that you like, the evoPOWER 1.3 again does have what you're looking for. It's again kind of a unique combination of features. It doesn't really compare to anything else. But if what I described sounds good to you, or perhaps you've worn previous evoPOWER models, I really feel like the evoPOWER 1.3 is a pretty solid option. In terms of weight, while the evoPOWER 1.3 obviously isn't part of the EvoSpeed line, it's still a very, very lightweight shoe. So I'm going to weigh this pair for you today in real time using this scale. Keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 9.5 US. We're going to throw them on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 6.9 ounces, the equivalent of 196 grams, which, like I said, is very, very light. So if you are looking for a light shoe, but at the same time you want what the evoPOWER 1.3 has on offer, it does have a combination of features that will meet your needs. As far as the look of the shoe is concerned, this is obviously part of the Tricks colorway pack, so it doesn't have the same exact graphics that you would find on the standard colorway releases of the evoPOWER 1.3, which I don't mind. I actually really like this particular graphic with kind of the back half of the shoe being black and then the front half being more of a solid color. But also with the Tricks pack, you do get the kind of opposites colorway effect where the right shoe is neon yellow with the pink form stripe, and then of course the left shoe is pink with the neon yellow form stripe. I don't personally care for the one-in-one thing. I just don't really like how it looks regardless of what color it is, but I know a lot of people really do like it. It's been very successful for Puma in the past. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section as far as a combination of neon yellow and pink on either foot. I like that they continued the pattern running through the midfoot. I think that's pretty cool, printed on top of the sole plate. And again, I don't think that the color choice is bad. I just personally don't care for the opposite color on each foot. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Do you like how these look? Why or why not? And with that being said, let's move on to the on-feet portion of the video so we can get a better idea as to how these shoes fit and of course what the sizing is like. All right, so here is a look at the evoPOWER 1.3's on feet. On my right foot, I have the stock laces that come with the shoes. And on my left foot, I have a pair of black and neon yellow 50/50 SR4U replacement laces. If you're interested in a pair of replacement laces for yourself, the website to go to is www.sr4ulaces.com. Find a direct link to that website down below in the description of this video. Now, in terms of how these things fit and feel on feet, the evoPOWER 1.3 is a very, very comfortable shoe from right out of the box. The synthetic material, while the Adaptolite is very soft and flexible, obviously it does have a little bit of stretchiness to it as well. You also have the AccuFoam, which is basically sitting directly against your foot. So it just has a nice kind of almost spongy sensation to it. It's very, very soft. It's super flexible. The upper is nice and flexible. The sole plate really doesn't have much rigidity to it in the forefoot and toe box area. And they just have a very natural sensation overall. It fits well, but doesn't fit super tight. That's kind of one of the main differences coming from the previous evoPOWER 1.2, which definitely had a much lower profile and just slimmer fit overall. This is more like the original evoPOWER 1, which I personally prefer. And again, it's just a very comfortable shoe. As far as the width and general shape is concerned, it does have that anatomical shape in the toe box area, where it comes to more of a point at the big toe and then kind of curves around like the natural shape of a foot. I personally don't mind that. It doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't really take any getting used to, in my opinion, but some people don't like it. But I think for the most part, it's something that you'll be able to get used to pretty quickly. And width-wise, the shoe is going to be suitable for most people. Is it going to stretch? Not very much. For the most part, the way it fits from out of the box is how it's going to fit for the entire lifespan. But like I said, as long as you don't have extremely wide feet, I really feel like these will fit you pretty comfortably. As far as sizing is concerned, they run a half size small, as do most Puma models. The evoPOWER and evoSpeed lines both do. So instead of wearing my usual size 9 US, I bumped it up to a 9.5, and the fit and the length is absolutely perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself, I would strongly recommend going a half size up. in order to achieve the best possible fit. Alright guys, that is it for my review of the Puma evoPOWER 1.3 tricks. If you're interested in more info, be sure to check out the review page on my website. That'll be the very first link down below in the description of this video. On that page, you'll find the high quality images of this exact pair. That'll give you a better idea as to how they actually do look in person. And of course, you'll also find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $220 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. If you have any questions at all regarding the evoPOWERs, leave them down below in the comments and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.